All right, guys, so after a very long vocabulary list on 9.4, we can now practice all of those definitions and theorems, okay? So I'm giving here example number 1, use the given vectors below two parts. A, vector u, take away 2 times vector v plus vector w, and b, 3 times vector u. Now, I have drawn on here 3 vectors for the sake of simplicity. We will start here at the corner and we will end here. That's W. And then V, we will start here at this edge and we will end right there. Similarly with U, we will start right there and we will end right there. Okay, so as you know already, when you're adding and subtracting vectors or multiplying vector, you can start it at anywhere. But it's just easiest to start out at the origin. As you can see here, I can technically draw the x and y coordinate anywhere on that given grid, but I'm just going to draw it right there. I'm going to do for both. How about that? Okay. So both of these problems, we will use quadrant 1. Okay, so I will start right there. So it says u, vector u is where you want to start. And again, you can start anywhere. You can start at the origin and go down. You can start here at the top and go up. You can start somewhere in between, just like there. Now, how do we draw it over again? Vector u, we're going to count 1, 2, 3 boxes down and 3 boxes to the right. So if I started right there, I'm going to count 3 down and 3 to the right, make the other dot. And remember, it is important to show the direction of your vector. Now that's just vector u. Now we have to minus 2 times vector v. Well, vector v is just horizontal and 3 units to the right, but minus means now we're going to go to the left, right? So 1 and 2. We're going to end right there. That's 2 times vector v. Now we will add vector w. Well, because it is an addition, we will go exactly the same way that the given vector w is going. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 up, 2, 4, 6, 7. 7 to the right. So we're going to go up 7 and right 7. So this is 3. This is 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 up is right there. And then 7 to the right is, I'm going to estimate this. So that's 2, right? And is that 2? I want to make sure. Hold on, give me a second. Earlier vector v was 3, so that's already 3. And that's 1, so that's 1. My bad. Okay, sorry, I didn't see it earlier. So that's from here to here is going to be 1 unit. Here to here, it's kind of a big 1 unit. And then just count 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here's my 7th. Okay, now when we're adding and subtracting, it's very important to start where the last vector ended. So because I ended right there, I will start where it ended, and that's just the work. Okay, I'm going to erase all these work dot right here. That's just the work. Now, what's the final answer vector? The final answer vector is where you started, which is right there, and where you ended, it's right here. So that's where that is right there. So this red vector is the final answer. That's vector u minus 2 vector w, minus 2 vector v and an addition of vector w. Again, the final resulting vector is where you started and where you ended. Okay, let's try it again on this right side. It said, okay, well, I just want you to multiply 3 times u. Well, there's no addition, there's no subtraction, it's just a multiplication. So we are going to take u. I know u is going downwards. I'm not going to start at the origin because then I would be in quadrant number 4, in which I've already drawn out quadrant number 1. Then I'm just going to start up here somewhere. That's where I'm starting. Okay, and remember we were counting down 3, right 3. So now I'm going to count down 9, right 9. This is a 10 by 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go all the way down 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Never mind, it's not a 10 by 10. It's, what is this? It's 15 by 15. So that's a 9. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So there's my 3 times vector u. Now it has to go in the same exact direction as the original. So there you go. So this is 3u, just like that. So example 2 says the vector v has an initial point p and a terminal point q. Write vector v in the form of ai plus bj, that is, find its position vector. Okay, so it says ai plus bj is the same thing as finding its position vector. So the first thing we want to do is we want to find vector v by taking x2 minus x1 and y2 minus y1. That's the same thing as saying a2 minus a1 and b2 minus b1. As you know already, vector v has two order pairs here. P is your initial and q is the terminal point. So this will constitute x1 and this will be your y1. This will be your x2 and that will be your y2. Okay, so the terminal side is when we end, where it ends. So that's your second point. So based on that definition, we would take -6 minus 3, and we would take -5 minus a -2. Yes, you would get the wrong answer if your point is in the wrong order. So from there, we will subtract and we'll get a -9 and a -3. Now it wants it in ai plus bj. So vector v is your a value is -9i. So -9 in the i direction. You can do a plus -3j, or you can go straight to just -3j. So that could be like this, -9i minus 3j. Either one is perfectly okay to have. Okay, so I'm going to leave letter B for you to do on your own. Let's move to example 3. Find the magnitude of V. As you know already, the magnitude of V was given to you earlier in the vocabulary, which is the absolute value of a squared plus b squared. Well, a is -2, so that's going to be -2 squared plus b is 12, so that's going to be 12 quantity squared. That's going to be 148, which we want to simplify that down to. Well, 148 we know is 4 times 37, so that's going to be 2 square root of 37. So the magnitude, which is the same as the length, which is 2 rad 37. And we don't need to use a calculator. I just need you guys to give me the simplest radical form on that one. Now example 4, now we are going to operate magnitude of v, take away magnitude of w. Now v is -2i plus 12j. That's exactly the same as this example, which we already found the magnitude. So now our job is to find the magnitude of w, which I'm going to leave you to do. Hopefully you found the magnitude of w to be, if we do 2 squared plus 3 squared, which is going to be square root of 13. Now, magnitude v, take away magnitude w, is going to be, remember magnitude v, we found it already from example number 3, which is 2 rad 37. Take away square root of 3, and again, I don't need you to punch it in, I just need you to give me the simplest radical form. You will get the wrong answer if you go and compute magnitude of w, take away magnitude of v, so make sure you do it in the order that it's asking, okay? Example 5, it says find the unit vector in the same direction as vector v, given vector v is -2i plus 12j. Well, guess what? That's the same exact vector as example 3 and 4, same v, okay? Well, the unit vector, if you guys remember, it's the formula of the magnitude of v divided by its, not magnitude, I'm sorry, vector v divided by the magnitude of itself. So we know v is -2i plus 12j. And we found the magnitude of v already from example 3, and that was 2 square root of 37. Now we want it in the ai plus bj form, so that's going to be -2 over 2 rad 37, I plus 12 divided by 2 rad 37, j, and we are going to simplify that further. Well, we can definitely cancel the 2's, so that's good, and rationalize, so that's now negative rad 37 over 37 in the I direction. 12 divided by 2 is now 6 on the numerator, and we rationalize the rad 37, so that's now brought to the top. So and the bottom now is now just rad 37. I mean, sorry, just a regular 37 without the radical. And that gives us negative rad 37 over 37i plus 6 rad 37 all over 37j, and box that up. Now remember, when you guys are writing a vector, make sure you have an arrow on the top. I don't mind if you make an arrow like that, or if you want to do it the way I do it, how just kind of half to the top or the bottom. Okay, you can even do like that. Okay, it doesn't really matter to me as long as you have an arrow to represent the magnitude. Now let's go on to example 6. As you can see, examples 1 to probably 7 are pretty simple if you know the formulas. Okay, write the vector v in the form of ai plus bj, given its magnitude v already and the angle alpha mixed with the positive x-axis. So it says write the vector v in the form ai plus bj. If you guys remember, the formula was to find vector v if we know the angle and the magnitude, we just take the magnitude and we multiply by the unit vector, which was, remember, cosine of theta in the I direction plus sine of theta in the j direction. Well, they are using alpha here, so no big deal. You can swap it out, alpha, theta, as long as you know it's an angle, then we are okay. Now also, restriction was the angle itself's got to be between 0 and 360 degrees, okay? All right, let's rock and roll. The magnitude is given to you here for 6 units long. Cosine of 30 degrees in the I direction plus sine of 30 degrees in the j direction. Yes, you have to simplify that out because it wants it in just ai plus bj. So cosine of 30 degrees is square root of 3 over 2 in the I direction, and this is going to be 1/2 in the j direction. So vector v, after you distribute the 6 throughout, that's going to be 6, not 6, I'm sorry. We're going to simplify that too. So 3 rad 3 in the I direction plus 3 in the j direction, and let's box that up. Okay. Now, why don't you try out example B on your own? Okay, so earlier I have asked you to do example 2B. Now I do want to go back and make sure we have the right answer. Did you guys get vector V was 3I plus 3j? Hopefully that's what you got. Now this example down here, example 6B, hopefully you got vector V is 7 rad 2 in the I direction minus 7 rad 2 in the j direction. Box that up.